have a new Malarkey hour coming right at ya. This is your host, Matt. And hey, John? Is that you, John?
Yeah.
That's John
Can you
across. See me? That's John across from me. Hope he remembers me, because I sure as heck fire remember him.
Wow, that was really lame. And that just took me a second. Yeah.
John, it's a great day, John. It's a great day to be alive. Because we're gonna do a episode today on one of our favorite movies, and that movie happens to be
Heat.
No.
No.
Groundhog Day, John. Groundhog Day is fast approaching.
It's my favorite holiday.
Is it your favorite holiday, Groundhog Day?
No.
You know, it would seem like it's one of your favorite holidays because you know what? You don't have to get anybody a present. You don't have to put up any decorations for it.
It's the same thing about Halloween, though.
What do you mean?
You don't have to get anybody a present.
Yeah, but you have to put up decorations.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, to celebrate it, you do.
I guarantee you do not.
Yeah, then you're not really celebrating Halloween. Like you can celebrate.
Sacrifice animals, all kinds of weird stuff.
Do you?
No.
Groundhog Day is a weird holiday, and it's a weird holiday to make a movie about. But there was, and that movie was Groundhog Day, the groundbreaking John comedy film from 1993, starring Bill Murray, Andy McDowell, Chris Elliott. Written and directed by Harold Ramis, one of the great comedy directors of our time. And yeah, I mean, this really was a groundbreaking movie. I mean, it created a genre almost, really.
I haven't seen it. I'm just kidding.
It is weird how it did spawn this, copycat, movies where, I mean, you've seen multiple movies, multiple TV shows that play around with this concept of somebody repeating a day in their life. And
what TV shows?
Finding meaning. Huh?
What TV shows?
That Netflix show, The Russian Doll, did it recently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
You told me to watch that, and I didn't.
It was really good. It's a really good show.
Yeah, I've heard a couple people tell me about it.
Yeah. And there's something about, the concept of having to relive the same day over and over that, I think resonates at a weird, for a lot of people, spiritual level. I mean, I guess you look at it, metaphorically, that old saying, like, oh, I'm living the same day over and over. Like, it seems like my life is just the same thing every day. So.
What is that thing people say now? It's like same shit, different day.
Yeah, same shit, different day.
What is it? SSDD?
There's an abbreviation for it?
Yeah, somebody sent me that a couple times.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's usually a girl that thinks those are words. Not trying to be sexist.
Usually a chick?
Yeah. I just learned what LOL means.
But yeah, I mean, it's a...
Somebody keeps saying I Me Too'd them. I don't know what that's about. Just kidding.
But there's something to that, right? Like now Groundhog Day means to repeat something over and over. For before, it was just another random holiday that, you vaguely, were aware of. But
yeah. No, I still don't know what it's about. I mean, I know what they do. I don't know how it started. I don't really.
The holiday?
Yeah, you're going to give me some history.
I don't know, how much do you know about Groundhog, the actual holiday Groundhog Day, John? Tell me
nothing.
Tell me your very, superficial knowledge on the February 2nd Groundhog Day.
It's what is it? A squirrely thing comes out if it sees
a groundhog.
Yeah, whatever. It's like a squirrel gerbil.
Is it a squirrel gerbil? Is that what you think it is?
Something like that.
Is that what a groundhog is?
I really don't know.
Have you ever seen a groundhog in real life?
It was probably a squirrel.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a fat, Yeah,
I always think they're fat.
Yeah, it's actually another name for it's a woodchuck.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a rodent.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
And it actually is a large. I'm sorry. It does belong to the group of large ground squirrels known as marmots. Marmots.
Oh, I don't know what those are either, so that helps.
But yeah. So obviously it involves a groundhog. What else do you know about it? What happens on Groundhog Day, John?
That is when. Okay. So which is the one with the bunny?
That's
And
Easter.
Oh, then nothing. I don't know anything.
Well, John, Groundhog Day is a popular tradition celebrated in Canada, United States on February 2nd.
Is it restricted to just North America?
Well, I think it's more popular because that's the area where the groundhogs actually live. They live in Canada and the upper part of the United States.
Okay.
And yeah, it derives from a Pennsylvania Dutch superstition that if a groundhog emerges from its burrow on February 2nd and it sees his shadow, due to clear weather, it will retreat to its den because it gets scared by his own shadow, and winter will continue for another 6 weeks. And if it does not see his shadow, because it's obviously it's cloudy, spring will arrive early. So.
And here we are in Texas, so we are hoping for more winter.
Yes.
Every year.
So yeah, I mean it's pretty simple holiday. Big fat rodent comes out, sees his shadow, runs back inside. More winter time. If it doesn't, no more.
Is it no more, or is it? I don't know.
Just we're gonna get an early spring. And obviously, one of the most famous groundhogs in the history of Groundhog Day resides in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania, where Puxatawney Phil lives, and he's the most famous groundhog out there, John.
Nice.
And that is the setting of this wonderful film named Groundhog Day. It is set in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania.
They didn't film it there, right?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Did it look like Puxatawney? Like, have you been to Puxatawney, Pennsylvania?
No, I have not.
Have you ever been in Pennsylvania?
No.
Actually, there's only 2 cities I would ever want to. I've never been in Pennsylvania either. I would ever want to visit. One is Philadelphia, and the other one's Hershey, because it'll be cool to visit the Hershey factory.
Nice.
But but enough about my summer plans. But yeah, it's set in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania, and it centers around a weatherman named Phil Connors, who lives in Pittsburgh, and he's a weatherman in Pittsburgh. Very amusing, funny weatherman. And he, in the beginning of the movie, he assures everybody there will not be a blizzard in Pittsburgh. It's gonna just miss Pittsburgh.
I haven't seen it. I don't.
And every year, it seems he's been doing this for many, many years. He has to cover the groundhog festivities in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania, and
that's really where they do this shit, right?
What? Yeah, that's the most famous. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I almost said this because I did catch this. They filmed it in a little place called Woodstock, Illinois, close to Chicago.
Okay.
Which is actually the hometown of Harold Ramis.
Okay, that makes sense. They're all Western guys. Isn't Bill Murray also from the Midwest?
I know they're friends from Second City or something?
Yeah, Second City, yeah.
Nah, good question.
Yeah.
Probably.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Bill Murray isn't Canadian, is he? I always forget. There's a lot of Canadian comedians. I always get them all confused. So anyway, so so we have
also from Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got Phil Connors, weatherman, played by Bill Murray, and he has to do this. He says this is his last year. He's gonna quit the weather business. I don't know. He never mentions what he's gonna do. He's just not gonna do this anymore.
He doesn't mention what he's gonna do.
No, he doesn't.
Can't remember.
It just says.
I know it's his last year doing the groundhog.
Yeah, because he's quitting, or he tells his cameraman, don't tell anybody, but this is my last year doing this.
But Rita's in the car when he says it.
Rita's his producer. She's in the car, and she just started at the station.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
She's a blabbermouth, so it's gonna get up.
You think she's a blabbermouth?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Does she appear to be a blabbermouth?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think McDowell plays her pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's pretty good in this movie. Like, she isn't overly...
Yeah, she cast very well.
Very well. So they go. Phil does his thing. Phil, he's pretty good at his job. You got to give him that. Like, he's a funny guy. He goes up there. Maybe, looks a little bored, but, he goes through the motions, and it's, it's more than you can ask for from a weatherman.
I would watch The Weather more if Bill Murray was doing it.
Yeah, he was pretty funny. Like, that first scene in the movie, like, where he's doing his weather, it's a pretty funny scene. Like, he's doing all his...
when he pretends to blow, or he blows...
Yeah, he blows the... Yeah.
Running out of shit to do.
Yeah.
Apparently becomes very easy.
What was that? Oh, like, you've heard from people who do it?
Yeah, from somebody who does it locally that I've talked to.
Well, there's something about... It's almost like, you do it every day.
Yeah.
And you just... with anything, the more you do it, the better you get at something.
Yeah.
For the most part. Not everybody.
LeBron James.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the more you do something, yeah. I mean, so there's something to, like, every day at, noon and 5 or 5 and 10, whatever, you're just you're practicing your craft. If I can say that. If weathermanning, what's the verb version of doing the weather?
Weathering.
Weathering.
Yeah.
The more you do weathering, the better you get at weathering.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether or not you're good at it, you'll weather it out.
Yes. So Phil does his thing, and then he goes to sleep, and then he wakes up, and it appears to be the same day.
Wakes up at 6 a.m.
Wakes up at 6 a.m. to Sonny and Cher's "I Got You, Babe." Just it's a great song to like, because it's instantly recognizable, right?
Mm-hmm.
That this first, "I got you, babe." It just opens up to those words, and everybody knows right away. Okay, I know that song.
Yeah.
So
it's a popular karaoke duet because it's easy.
Yeah. If you had a choice, John, to say you were making this movie back in 1993, and you were, they put the power to you to decide on the song. What song would you have chosen, other than "I Got You, Babe," to have Bill Murray wake up to every day for however long his character goes through this endless days of waking up 6 a.m. February 2nd.
Could do something. It would be funny if it was... It would be funny. You think it's something by like Slayer. I don't know.
So he slowly starts realizing that not everything is all right with the situation.
It's
and the hilarity ensues.
I was thinking it's one of those movies that makes you think, like, because if you're dumb, you think they film movies in order.
Right.
I don't think they filmed this in order. Like, it would be... I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
To think about, though.
Well, I mean, there is even though it's the same thing over and over, there is obviously there's an arc to the character, right? And the way he deals with the days repeating in the beginning, and then the
might
middle.
have taken more time than we think.
Yeah. There's something there too. In the beginning, he's getting his bearings, right? He's trying to understand what is going on. And then he goes through what I think most people would do in a situation. He goes through the phases like, let me take advantage to this. If I know exactly what's gonna happen, every day. At one point, he steals cash from an armored truck.
Right.
He gets information from a pretty attractive woman in a cafe, and he uses that to go to bed with her.
What's her name? I can't remember.
Yeah. It's funny in the middle of it. he's sort of losing, losing her.
Nancy.
He's sort of losing her, and he's like, I love you. I want to marry you. Because he knows it's not going to.
Keeps calling her Rita.
Rita. He doesn't care. And at one point, he does use his newfound powers, if you will, to seduce Rita. I guess he finds out all the information he can from her, and then uses that on one wonderful day where they spend all day together and making snowmen, eating sweets, and then finally retreating back to the fireplace where he fucks up and she slaps him, and then
slaps him a bunch of times, right?
Slaps him a bunch of times. Looks like he feels over and over and over at all different times of the day, and it seems like he can't get that right. Like, she's the one that he just can't get.
So what is it? He does every single step, right?
Yeah.
Starts at the bar.
Yeah. He orders
like
the same drink she likes.
Yeah, something with vermouth.
Yeah, vermouth.
Vermouth and the rocks
twist of lime. Twist of lime.
Yeah.
And then he
he
learns French.
What does he want to toast? It's like toast to the groundhog.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
She's like, I always toast to world peace. And he just does it again and again and again.
He's just perfecting it, right? Every day he's perfecting that.
But he can't. It never works.
It never works. That's what's interesting, right? It never works, no matter how much he's.
Once it worked, then they didn't show us.
Well, it never does. Like, I mean, they go through a montage of him just getting slapped over and over by her. So it isn't until he actually becomes genuine with her.
Worked right away with Nancy.
Yeah.
Tells you a little bit about her.
That tells you a little bit about Nancy, right? But, there's something to that, right? It isn't until he starts becoming a genuine dude with her that, he finally gets her to fall for him. But up until that point, all his tricks don't work on her. So.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's
because you know what, it's like it's really close, and I think he's trying to like force it after that.
Yeah, that's it does seem right.
Like no, it's like it is real. It's genuine, and it kind of falls apart.
Yeah, and then he can't get it again.
He can't get it back.
Yeah, because he can't fake it, right? I mean,
right. So he's just trying to repeat whatever he did,
and he can't do it. Yeah.
Because I think, what are they, like, playing in the snow, and it kind of just ends there.
And then when he just gets tired, he's just like, like he just, like he's really going through the motions. Like, and it's like, you can't fake it. But, no, it is interesting, like, and then like I said, at a certain point, he, starts realizing, hey, I need to, if I'm going to have to relive this hell. At one point, he does hit rock bottom, right? And then you get that montage.
It's pretty funny. I mean.
That montage where he tries to kill himself. And
he's doing, like, a toaster.
Yeah, he does a toaster. He drops off a cliff.
Jumps off a building.
With Phil. The two Phils in the truck. Fucks the Tommy Phil.
The murder-suicide with the groundhog.
Yeah, with the groundhog. He does. He jumps off. He jumps out the window. He hangs himself.
When it crashes, like, he might be all right. Just explodes.
Yeah. What else does he do? He jumps out the window. Doesn't he hang himself at a certain point?
They don't show that, but he talks about it to her. He's like,
he got stabbed, right? Yeah.
He even says poisoned, but I'm saying they don't show that stuff.
Yeah, they don't show everything.
Like, he's telling Rita that in the diner.
Yeah.
And he's like, so it makes you think, like, and that is that question I still don't know. I'm sure you probably looked it up, or you're going to. Is that how long has it been? I don't know.
Well, there's different. I think at one point, Harold Ramis, the director, said he wanted him to go through 10,000 years, but I think that the final number is something like he went through 10 years of this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah.
10 years of the same day over and over.
It's a lot of days.
It is a lot of days. How many days is that? Like close to 4,000 days. Doing the same thing over and over. Well, actually, everybody else is doing the same thing over and over. I mean, you're doing, like, at a certain point, he does reach a point of, hey, let me do something with this, and he starts learning.
It's all about time travel, right?
Yeah. But he realized, hey, let me do something with this day. So he starts learning. At one point, he learns how to play the piano. Doesn't he ice sculpt? He learns how to ice sculpt.
Yeah, he learns how to ice sculpt very, very well.
Really well. What else does he do? He could throw cards into a box really well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's really talented at that. What else does he do? It's a lot of things.
What did he
Well, what would you do, John? What would you improve if you got to relive the same day over and over? And yeah, what would be one of the things you would have checked off your to-do list to get better at?
I'm trying to think what he did versus, because I guess stealing the money is like a thing. I think a lot of people would get bored and do if you just wanted to.
There's no consequence to it anyway. And
yeah. Oh man, in that little fucking town, like seriously.
But that is a little bit of why it seems like it's hell for him, right? It's not like he can do much in a small town like that.
Not that Punxsutawney's not nice. I don't know.
Well, I think this is where the jump ahead a little bit, but some people have called this one of the most spiritual movies of all time. But there's something to that, right? He's stuck in a town where there's not much to do. So when there's not much to do, you sort of go inward, right? You sort of,
Well, he starts helping people.
He starts helping people. Yeah,
that's a big
true.
thing because he stops being a shithead.
There's that heartbreaking sort of montage of him trying to help the homeless guy.
Oh yeah,
and he keeps dying.
Funniest scene of the movie to me. Definitely funny.
He begins with he helps him out that night, and then he gets sick. He takes him to the hospital, but it's too late. So the next day,
no matter what he does, he can't.
He tries to get him early on. He gives him food. He gets him healthy, and he's still dying. And then you get that. It's really hard, like it's an emotional scene where he's in the alley trying to wake him up, trying to like revive him, and he can't do it. And he realizes like there's nothing that he does he's ever gonna be able to save this man.
Yeah, because it starts off he doesn't even want to give him any money.
Yeah.
He does that thing that people do where they pretend like they check their pockets.
Yeah.
And
I do that a lot.
Yeah, I do it too. Depends, but yeah. Usually it's because I'm OCD and I don't want them to touch me.
Oh, yeah. You don't want... Yeah.
So like change is really close. Like so sometimes I'll rather give them the dollar because there's about 6 inches of distance. Maybe 5 to 6 inches.
Yeah.
If you give them change, your hand might touch their hand. And I'm not trying to be like prejudiced against homeless people, but they've probably been doing a lot of homeless people things. and yeah.
It's funny. I remember one time there's homeless guys. I was going to it was in a convenience store. It was like a drugstore, and he's like, "Hey, it was really hot." He's like, "Do you have any money?" I was like, "Not on me." He goes, "Man, I'm really thirsty." So I was like, "Oh, you want something to drink? I know it's hot out." He goes, "Yeah, can you?" I was like, "Yeah." So I'm thinking like, "Oh, just get him a water or something." But this motherfucker can like, "Yeah, can you get me some corn chip?" Like he's like starts writing down not writing down a list, but he's like gives you a list of things he wants. I'm like, motherfucker, like really, you're gonna like start putting demands in on like me, trying to be nice to you, but it's like that's fine. He's like, I want a Coke and I want some corn. He wanted corn chips. It's like all right. It's
like different if he gave you money.
Yeah, but it's just funny. It's like
yeah. No, there was a friend of mine that he was telling me that he I think I told you this, right? When he used to live in Las Vegas. Like that there's a lot of homeless people near where he used to live. And this guy would give him a 20 to get like beer because he just wasn't allowed in the store anymore.
Yeah.
He'd tell him to keep the change.
Yeah.
He's like, that's weird. And like, it's like, it was like, $12-13 in change or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was every time he just like keep the change. And he's like, dude, like he's like, are you homeless? You have money? And he's like, dude, he's like, I get $30,000 like pension, blah blah blah. And he's like, why are you living out here under this? Like it was under a bridge.
Yeah.
I know the area he's talking about.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't need fucking 4 walls. He's all like, just like, he said he used to have an apartment. He's like, he got bored. He's like, oh, all my friends live down here, and he's just like in a great mood. He's like,
yeah, it's like, yeah.
Like,
you know what? There's something to that. You don't have the stress of bills anymore. I mean,
he really did tell him. He's like, because my friends are down here. He goes, I get to drink. He goes, I get laid. He goes,
he's the happiest homeless guy ever.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to, eliminate all needs.
Yeah.
For your life, all unnecessary. Well, we consider needs, right? A roof and 4 walls around you.
I mean, to decide to be homeless.
Yeah, that's an interesting decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You know what? In a way, Phil has that, right? He has no needs anymore. He knows he's gonna be able to stay in the hotel room forever and never get charged for it because it's gonna be the same day every day.
Right.
He's never had to pay first. At one point, remember he gives the homeless man like all the cash he has on him. He's just like whatever about.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna matter the next day.
Right.
Yeah. So there's something to that too. Like
and finally gets over that puddle. That doozy.
Yeah, that little doozy. And Ned, he sees. You know what's interesting? He never reconciles with Ned. Like, wasn't the last occurrence he punches him?
No, yeah.
Oh no, you're right. He does.
They're good at the party because he bought all that insurance from him.
That's true. Yeah.
Which he probably does every day.
Yeah, he does. Right.
Probably. He said he bought all the policies, and he's like, "This guy haven't."
But that was the final day.
But we don't know that was the final day.
That was because then the next day he wakes up.
No, I'm saying we don't know that he hasn't done that before. I mean,
oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that's what I meant.
No, but I mean like that is the final day, so that probably. Oh, but he probably was just doing.
He could have been doing because a lot of the things he'd done, he'd probably been doing.
He doesn't know when the day's
like the kid that fell out of the tree.
Yeah, he saves him every day.
He might be buying the insurance every day.
Yeah.
He might be helping that couple out every day.
Yeah, the young couple.
Yeah, that guy's choking every day.
That's true.
So why wouldn't you buy the insurance every day?
Yeah,
probably would.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah,
that's a nice guy.
Definitely learn to have a productive day.
Yeah, but he learns to play the piano. He makes friends with everybody.
Yeah, becomes very good.
Well, John, okay, so this movie centers around Groundhog Day. We're living Groundhog Day, which is an unusual day to pick to relive over and over. You know, it's interesting.
Turn that into a military term.
What?
Groundhog Day. But I'm gonna look into that for a second.
So, John, if you can pick any other holiday to relive over and over, which one do you think for you? Since for Phil, this is hell for him. What day, if you had to relive it over and over, would be your own personal hell?
Christmas would be awful.
Christmas would be pretty bad. If you had to relive Christmas over and over and over.
Yeah.
Any particular Christmas or just Christmas in general?
Christmas in general. Right? The Christmas when I was 7.
But why is that? Why is Christmas Day for you to have to do it over and over? The same Christmas Day would be really terrible.
I don't like it. Now,
but it seems like you don't like the Christmas holiday, like the holidays,
no,
like the days surrounding Christmas,
no,
more than you hate Christmas Day itself. Like, I would imagine you like Christmas Day because that means it's over. The holidays are over.
I do like when it's over at the end of the night.
Yeah.
It's nice.
There's something to Christmas night. That's pretty it's over.
But I'm over there Christmas Eve full of anxiety at Walgreens buying shit that I couldn't get in time off Amazon.
I mean, I don't know if Christmas Day for me would be hell.
It's funny because it's like it should be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
If you want to say hell.
No, but a lot of people don't like Christmas though. Like, I don't think it's that unusual. Like that for you not to like Christmas. There's a lot of people who hate Christmas. Actually, the holidays in general is a pretty depressing time for a lot of people.
What's your favorite holiday?
Probably a tie between Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you already know I like Halloween.
Yeah, I like the whole month of October. There's something about it. The weather changes and
Yeah, even though Thanksgiving is in November, but yeah.
I really like Thanksgiving.
Actually, depends who's showing up for Thanksgiving or who I have to be around.
Yeah, well, I like my family, John.
Lucky you.
Well, also the thing is, it's really usually Thanksgiving is like just immediate family for my family. Like we don't really hang out with like aunts and uncles and cousins, so that helps. The less extended family you have to hang out with, the better. Not that I dislike any of my cousins or uncles or aunts. It's just
I dislike some.
It just like I'm not gonna mesh well.
Start
with
naming them.
But I mean, for me, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe New Year's Eve. I'm not a big as I got older, I don't like New Year's as much.
I didn't really do much this year.
I never do anything.
I went to my sister's.
Yeah, but just like to me.
Yeah.
Actually, I went home by 12:15. Like I was home already, like 12:30. I think.
Yeah. No, I didn't stay out all night at all. I woke up fine.
Yeah.
Usually I wake up feeling like hell.
Yeah.
But no, I read a book.
You read a book on New Year's Day?
No.
Oh.
I started to listen to one and I crashed out.
Ah, okay.
It's almost the same thing.
Yeah, there you go.
I drank a little bit.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think for me that would be like having to relive the new day of the new year over and over would be sort of like
Arbor Day.
Yeah, but that's such a random. Like nobody ever celebrates it.
Nobody celebrates Groundhog Day either.
That's true. Yeah.
So you're in Punxsutawney.
I think that's what it was. It's he's stuck in this small town. So
I wonder if it's like really awesome in Punxsutawney and Groundhog.
Right. It's like
like.
Well, remember at the beginning, like the first original day he's there, and they're like, some of these people have been up all night. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like they're partying like it's Mardi Gras.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I mean, I've never been, so
it's like fucking Bourbon Street, and Mardi Gras. Can't get the message out.
Yeah. No, it's definitely it's unusual holiday to have picked for a movie, but it's perfect in hindsight, right? To pick Groundhog Day.
Yeah, because nobody thinks about it.
Yeah.
And it's funny that they do have to make that trip to cover it.
Well, how else are you gonna do it?
Well, it's funny because they're close, so they can make the trip. Nobody else is gonna like go to Punxsutawney.
Yeah, like they're always gonna fly to. Yeah, you're right. They're just close enough to like this is doable every year.
Local news shit.
Yeah. Like you lived in another state. You're not gonna go to cover it.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. I think he bought Ned Ryerson's insurance every day.
You think so?
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's the movie that did rip it off, though. No, I'm saying use it a lot. Did the Tom Cruise one?
Yeah. There's a lot of movies who've done it. Yeah.
Can't think of a lot of TV shows, but yeah, you mentioned that one. Yeah. Netflix.
Well, maybe episodes like where somebody has to relive.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot.
Because it's different from like, which a lot of movies have done, like It's a Wonderful Life. That's different.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is the world as if you were never here kind of stuff.
That's not the same, though.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's different. But there's a lot of people that have done that one.
Yeah. I mean, this had never been done before, if I remember correctly. Like somebody having to relive the same thing. I don't think
so.
Yeah. It is one of those, like, it's sort of groundbreaking to, like, think of this plot. And it's become a plot. Like, people do it every once in a while. They'll do
And I think, even though you're the film nerd, some other guy wrote it, right?
I prefer to be called film scholar, John, but go.
Shut up.
Go on.
Some other guy wrote it, and Harold Ramis picked it up and helped rewrite it.
And he helped rewrite it,
Yeah. I don't know how I caught myself even finding out any. Do you have like random shit about this too?
Yeah. You want to go through some trivia?
This is the only one that I know because that's why I knew the Illinois thing. Is that I didn't know that Bill Murray and Harold Ramis weren't talking to each other.
Oh yeah. Up until his death.
Yeah. Even they didn't talk. They stopped during the film. Yeah. And they weren't talking again until he died. I was like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Other than that, in the city, I don't know anything else.
Apparently, Bill Murray was bitten by the groundhog twice during shooting.
That's funny.
He had to have.
I was gonna say some kind of shot.
Yeah, he had to have some rabies injections because the bites were really like. I guess these fuckers bite.
Yeah, I was gonna say they look
huge,
like disgusting creatures.
Yeah. I remember that scene where Phil picks up the alarm clock, just slams on the floor.
Breaks it.
He breaks it. Apparently, when Bill Murray tried to do it for real, it barely broke. So they had to smash it with a hammer to really give it that look. And apparently that it wasn't just a gag where it kept playing the song. It actually happened. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, the song just kept playing, so they kept it in.
That's funny.
Yeah. Ooh, this is a good casting. What if, John? Harold Ramis originally wanted Tom Hanks for the lead role.
Still would have worked.
but he decided not to because he thought Hanks was too nice, which makes sense.
Yeah.
The character's sort of an asshole.
He's a pretty big asshole.
Yeah, in the beginning. So I mean, it'll be hard to see Tom Hanks.
Isn't Bill Murray always kind of an asshole in every movie?
Yeah, it's just like my forte, right?
But you still like him, but he is kind of.
Yeah.
Even if he had, like, what, not just like Scrooged, which is, he's also an asshole, right?
Yeah. Well, Scrooge is, he's more of way more of an asshole. I mean, that's the whole point, right, of the character. He's supposed to learn the error of his ways.
Even in, like, Lost in Translation, he's kind of an asshole. He's just not an asshole to Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. He's trying to fuck her. That's
yeah, he is trying to fuck her.
I think, you know what? I have a theory with that. I think he was initially trying to fuck her, and then he's just like,
Yeah. Well, he ends up fucking somebody else.
Yeah. Apparently, according to Harold Ramis, most of the time when he tried to explain the scene to Bill Murray, Murray would interrupt and just ask, "Just tell me, good Phil or bad Phil?" That's the only direction he needed. It's like, is am I playing good Phil or bad Phil? Because, like you mentioned, they don't film in order, so he's just trying to say, where are we at in this?
Interesting.
Yeah. Apparently, both Bill Murray and Harold Ramis have been honorary grand marshals for the Groundhog Day celebrations in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Nice. Did they show up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
remember that scene where Bill Murray's just like gorging himself on on pastries in the diner?
what does he do? He stuffs that whole thing in his mouth.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Apparently they offered him a spit bucket, so like, you can spit it out after we film, and he said nah, he just ate it.
What does he put? I can never figure it out. It's like some kind of cake.
It's like an angel cake type of.
Yeah, it's a cake, right?
Yeah, it's an angel cake.
He just stuffs it.
Yeah.
He still talks pretty clearly afterwards.
Yeah. So I mentioned earlier in the commentary on the DVD, Harold Ramis does state that the original idea was for Phil to live for 10,000 years on that day, but he says that he probably lived there for about 10 years.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. During that snowman making scene, when the kids start throwing snowballs at Bill Murray, Andy McDowell, apparently Harold Ramis told the kids to throw it really hard. So Murray responded by throwing it back equally as hard at the kids. I don't know if you noticed this, but all the clocks in the diner he's at, they all stopped. They're not working.
I never noticed.
Yeah, so it's almost like the same predicament that Phil's in. Time has stopped for him.
It's like in those Tupac music videos.
Which
they all show the time of his death.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Is that the?
I think so.
Apparently, in the original version of the script by Danny Rubin, you mentioned it was written by somebody else other than Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis went in and made changes. Phil Connor was already trapped inside Groundhog Day at the start of the story. The movie just, we join him in on a typical day that he's already living, and the audience is supposed to wonder how he knew everything that was going to happen. And originally Harold Ramis was going to go with that concept, but he decided to change it. So that would have been interesting. Like, you just open the movie and he just happens to know what's going to happen, and you're like, sort of.
I like it better this way.
Yeah, it's a little. Apparently, Bill Murray was undergoing a divorce at the time of the filming and was obsessing about the film. He would call Harold Ramis constantly, often in the early hours of the morning. Maybe that's the reason they stopped talking. Right? Ramis eventually sent the writer, Danny Rubin, to sit with Murray and iron out his anxieties about the script. And one of the reasons why apparently Murray stopped talking to Ramis for many, many, many years. I guess it was like a weird time for Bill Murray.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It says, well, they did what year was Ghostbusters?
80s, like early 80s.
And Ghostbusters 2, all that shit was over, right?
Yeah.
Did Harold Ramis make anything else?
After this? Yeah, he's made a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. I figured you would know something there.
The biggest movie after this that he made, try to think, he made As a director was Multiplicity, one of our favorite movies.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Groundhog Day is like apex.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently in order to get the scenes to look alike, obviously it's the same day, many different takes were filmed in different weather conditions. And then eventually just chose to like the bleak look that they had.
Even the clouds at the beginning look the same, but they're like moving. I don't know. I don't know if that means shit.
Apparently Harold Ramis was, I mentioned earlier, a lot of people view this movie as very spiritual. So Harold Ramis was surprised to find that his film was attracting a lot of attention from various religious groups, meditative gurus, and other parties who were into metaphysics. He was particularly surprised as he was expecting backlash against them.
Scientologist.
Let's see what else I read. So, I guess originally Phil was supposed to hunt down the groundhog in his lair, other than just kidnap him, right? But this was changed because it seemed too much like Caddyshack, where he fought another.
Yeah. Well, Harold Ramis was in Caddyshack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he directed Caddyshack.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Apparently a family of groundhogs was raised for the production, John. So that's not just one groundhog; it's a family. Of,
trying to fool us.
Yeah. In the penultimate encounter between Connors and annoying insurance salesman Ned Ryerson, apparently Bill Murray was ad-libbing when he tells Ned, "I don't know where you're headed, but can you call in sick?"
Wait, who's... Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an ad-lib by Bill Murray, apparently.
Right. That's funny.
Yeah. I think that causes Ned to run away.
Yeah.
Let's see. Apparently, the writer, he said one of the inspirational moments in the creation of the story came after he read Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, because they're the same movie.
But the concept of it got him thinking about what it would be like to live forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Apparently, I got you.
So you remember that part where Bill Murray turns into a vampire?
Apparently, the song "I Got You, Babe" was always in the script, so that song has always been the one that they wanted to use. So
nice.
It's a great choice. I mean.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I think, I don't know if you know this. The I don't know. Is he the mayor? The guy who brings out the groundhog? That's Bill Murray's brother.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. Brian Doyle.
I don't know if he's the mayor. I know he's the guy with a top hat.
He's a top hat. Is he the mayor? I can't remember it now.
I think of that town. If you have a top hat, you're in charge.
You're in charge. Something about top hats, right? It's like it seems.
Listen to that man.
Yeah.
He won't steer you.
I'll follow him anywhere.
No shit.
Another casting what ifs. Apparently, Harold Ramis considered also Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and John Travolta for the role of Phil Connors. But much like Tom Hanks,
Adam Sandler.
Much like Tom Hanks, he considered them far too nice compared to Bill Murray. So I don't know, but Chevy Chase, I've heard he's an asshole. I don't know how he thinks.
You know what I heard on? I don't know about Chevy Chase, but you know what I did hear? I think it was on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast. Mm-hmm. He was talking to somebody, and he said that Chevy Chase, a lot of people say he's in a bad mood all the time.
Yeah.
And that he's actually in physical pain from all the physical comedy that he's done.
Yeah. Maybe
that
that's something
he's like, I don't know how true that is. But they were saying, like, how many times he's thrown himself on the ground. Like,
especially early on. Yeah, he did.
That it's almost like it's ridiculous. I don't know.
And then he's a tall guy, so I imagine, sometimes the taller you are, the more physical pain you sort of go through because your body's more strength.
Like those NFL, NBA guys.
Yeah, they always it looks like their knees hurt all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it's fun to be super tall.
I think I heard that on Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
Something about does so much sketch physical comedy.
Yeah. Well, for a while on SNL, he portrayed what was the president that always fell? Blanking on his name. He was Nixon's vice president.
One term.
Yeah. What is his name? Gerald Ford.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. He was always falling, and so he portrayed.
Did Gerald Ford fall a lot?
He was known for, I mean, that was his thing. Like, I think he tripped like once. That's what I mean. It just stuck with him for the rest of his life.
Exaggeration.
Yeah, for the rest of his life. This was Michael Shannon's movie debut. Very young Michael Shannon.
Mm-hmm.
One half of that young couple that Bill Murray's so nice to.
Right.
Rita's favorite drink is sweet vermouth. This was Harold Ramis' idea because that's his wife's favorite drink.
That's nice.
Do you like vermouth?
I've only had it in martinis.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, I could go with or without it. By itself, no. I remember no. So the answer is no.
No.
The short answer is no.
John, did you know the Swedish title of this movie translates to Monday the entire week?
No, I did not.
But the movie does not specify what day of the week it's supposed to be. But if you were to go by the release year of this movie, in 1993, Groundhog Day was on a Tuesday. And this year's on a Sunday.
Actually,
Super Bowl
I was
Sunday.
Curious.
Super
Bowl's going to
Sunday.
overshadow Groundhog Day.
Yeah. You think anybody's going to show up to Puxatawny Phil's?
Probably. Probably.
Let's see. What else? What
part of the movie makes you laugh the most?
I mean, obviously the Ned Ryerson scene, just it's ridiculous. That's funny. But there's a lot of like subtle stuff.
It is a dark comedy.
It's super dark.
Yeah, like it is pretty dark. I like it.
There's something about that second time you see them having that snowball fight, and Bill Murray is just like, let's hit these kids now. I love kids. I want to
going through the motions.
Yeah,
it's no longer real.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I don't know. It's just that always makes me laugh a lot.
Yeah,
but
there's something that they're trying to prove there.
Yeah.
That if it's not real, it's not going to work.
Exactly. And then I think the whole kidnapping the groundhog is pretty funny. Like the whole sequence. This is so ridiculous.
The crash is fucking
The crash is super funny. It's like
he might be all right.
He might be all right. Yeah.
Fucking explosion. Yeah.
Let's see. In one scene, Connor throws himself from the bell tower of a high building. That's one of the times he tries to kill himself. So this building is actually an opera house in Woodstock, Illinois. Local legend has it that a ghost of a young girl haunts the building, since a girl once fell off the balcony section inside the opera house and died.
Jesus.
We're
going to focus on this for now.
The German title, John, of this movie translates to "The Groundhog Greets Every Day." Let's see. What else?
I think the part that always cracks me up is just when he's just going through the motions again.
Mm-hmm.
He's just when fucking is it Ned comes up, Ned Ryerson.
Yeah.
It's like, Phil? Ned? He just fucking knocks him the fuck out. It's literally just two lines and a punch. It's like fucking awesome. Phil? Ned?
Speaking of, you talked about it a little earlier when talking about him trying to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
He tells Phil, when Phil was explaining to read his experiences, he says, "I have been stabbed, shot, poisoned, frozen," and so on. Right?
He says frozen.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And actually, these are all methods used by the assassins of Russian mystic Rasputin. Remember Rasputin?
Mm-hmm.
With the exception of electrocution. They didn't try to electrocute him. So there's that, right?
Yeah, that's why it's like not unreasonable to say how long he was there.
Yeah.
Because there's so much obscurity and like even the stuff he mastered. I'm like, how long would it take to learn that shit?
A long time, yeah.
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 He can sculpt her face and shit.
It was really funny because it's like really perfect sculpture of her face in the snow.
Yeah.
Apparently Michael Keaton turned down the role of Phil Connors. Man, there's a lot of people who are up for this role. Because he found the idea to be confusing when he read the script. And obviously he went on to star with Andy McDowell in another movie directed by Harold Ramis, Multiplicity.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then he was Batman.
Yeah, he was Batman.
Batman was
The best
before,
Batman, in
right?
my opinion. Huh?
Batman was before this movie, right?
Yeah, Batman was 89.
Okay. And then the second one was what, 2 years later?
Yes. No. 89 and then... Yeah, I think you're right, 91.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Another thing that made me laugh? The Jeopardy scene is always hilarious to me.
Oh, he's just drinking.
And this
just knows every...
the old people are so impressed. He's like, oh my God. He's
knows every answer.
You mentioned this earlier, the Tom Cruise film, The Edge of Tomorrow, who, uses this concept in an action movie sense. They actually have a character named Rita, and both films are about men trapped in a never-ending day.
Is Rita the main chick?
I think she's a character. I can't remember the other character names in The Edge of Tomorrow. And also at the climax, Phil pinches Rita to prove that tomorrow has finally arrived. And in the novel that inspired Edge of Tomorrow, the lead character Cage pinches himself when time first resets.
There is gotta be you said a few movies that have done this, right?
Yeah, one of my favorite movies of this past decade did it. Happy Death Day. So.
Yeah, I know you like it a lot.
I love it, John.
I do like it.
Love it.
Oh, that's good. But they did pay a little homage at the end.
Yeah, they did. Let's see what else. Bill Murray and Stephen Tobolowsky, who plays Ned, they would later go on to work on Garfield, the other classic movie.
I think Garfield's better.
You think Garfield's better?
No, I haven't seen it.
Uh-huh.
Who's in Garfield?
I can't remember. You know that clock radio, which I think it's such an awesome clock radio. It has that those hinges for the numbers. It's such a cool old clock radio feature. That's actually a Panasonic RC6025, John. It has a little shutter almost, it goes over. Pop, pop.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Those are so cool.
What is it? A Panasonic what?
It's a Panasonic RC6025.
Those are. I get one for about $20, $25.
Yeah.
It's made of wood, so it's flammable.
Let's see. What else, John? Okay. Let's go over some things. Obviously, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen this movie.
Laugh at that.
Apparently, the final shot where I remember Phil carries Reed over the gate and then climbs over it. This was because the gate was actually frozen shut, so they had to improvise that.
Well, that's good budgeting.
In the scene when Phil takes that elderly man to the hospital and talks to the nurse, a boy with a broken leg kept being seen in the background, and this is the same boy who keeps falling out of that tree that Phil catches.
Never noticed that.
Yeah.
What does he say? What is it? I save you every day, or I catch you I can't remember what he says.
Yeah.
You have never thanked me.
You never thanked me. Yeah. According to the website Wolf Nards, Bill Murray spent 8 years, 8 months, and 16 days trapped in Groundhog Day. The movie Truth Review series calculated Murray spent 4,576 days, which equates to 12 years, 6 months, and 11 days stuck in the loop, while the website Obsessed with Film claims he was trapped 12,403 days, just under 34 years, in order to account for becoming a master piano player, ice sculptor, etc.
Ain't funny if it was like me, where I'm just so lazy and nothing I don't like.
You never
like,
asked her
like
anything.
I'm just like I'm still like pretending like I got your nose and moving my thumb around. And it's like the same stupid card tricks.
Apparently the first draft of the screenplay ended with Phil waking up on February the 3rd to discover that Rita was trapped in a time loop of her own. So she was trapped on February 3rd.
Turns into a horror sci-fi movie. Seems a little dark.
Yeah. The original writer of the movie, Danny Rubin and Harold Ramis, wanted to add another Ned Ryerson scene at the last minute. So Stephen Tobolowsky, the actor who played him, wrote the scene where he rattles off numerous insurance policies. Tobolowsky based his character on his own insurance agent. So after the movie's release, the agent called him to thank him for portraying agents so accurately, rather than making fun of him, as most movies do.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. The writer and Harold Ramis considered including an explanation for Phil being stuck in a time loop. The possibilities included was that Phil had been cursed by a scorned lover or someone had verbally abused them, but they decided it was best to leave it a mystery. And I agree. There's, to try to explain the time loop.
Some kind of weird devil background. I don't know. It's better just to. It seemed like, it's like he said. It's kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, but it's not. It's like, you're a shithead. Let me show you. But not in the same way.
Yeah.
It is kind of the same thing, but no, not in the same way that he's punished.
Yeah.
But it is like, you're a piece of shit. Let me show you.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's showing you? Somebody more powerful than you. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Don't show any specifics. Just let him deal with it.
Yeah, that's true. Rita slaps Phil 10 times during the course of the film.
It was a bunch in like one scene. But
Yeah, I think it's the majority of it. Apparently the end party scene where everybody thanks Phil was originally supposed to take place at Fred and Debbie's wedding, but it was changed for time constraints.
Nice.
That old man is the only one to die and stay dead. The one that Phil can't save.
Okay.
So Phil,
Harold Ramis.
Yeah. So Phil, the groundhog, and the old man are the only ones in the loop known to have died, because he does kill the groundhog with him.
Yeah. Craziest murder suicide ever.
Yeah. Let's see what else. At the end of the alley
I want to
scene,
buy one of these clock radios.
they're cool. I really like them.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah. Did you find it?
Yeah, there's a few.
How much are they?
$25 plus
Not bad.
shipping.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
They're cool. I should like the fact that the number falls down
There's something very like permanent for a second.
Yeah.
Like very definitive.
Yeah. Like the digital is like, it could break. I mean, it could like, have you ever had like a digital one, like when the light goes off and then it flickers and
Or part of the light goes out.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that a U
Yeah.
or a 0?
Yeah. It always bugs me.
It's probably a U.
It always bugs me. Yeah.
It's probably 730 U. Does that make sense?
Yeah. At the end, when Phil surprises Fred and Debbie with tickets to WrestleMania, Fred responds in the lines of, "We were going up to Pittsburgh anyways. Although this is fictional, there has not been a WrestleMania in Philadelphia.
I knew it.
To 1999. So it's a lie, John.
I've been trying to find a flaw in this fucking movie.
And that's the flaw, John.
Oh.
So John, why do you think you go back to this movie over and over? What is it that pulls you? Like, what for you is the ultimate,
I saw this in the movies with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
How old was I?
Like 7.
Yeah. And I've watched it probably 15 times.
Mm-hmm.
Sound about right? Probably 15.
I don't know.
I would say 15-ish, maybe more, maybe less. Probably more.
Yeah.
It's a dark comedy, but it is a comedy.
It is a comedy.
And it is family friendly.
Yeah, they don't cuss.
I don't care about that, but I mean it is.
They don't cuss, yeah.
It really is like not.
There's no nudity, there's no violence.
Yeah, and it is, but it doesn't have it. It ages well.
There's no topical stuff. You're right.
And you know what? If I had to say, at the end of the day, it is a romantic comedy.
It is a romantic comedy. Yeah.
And I don't know if I can name a better one. I'm being serious.
So for you, this is the best romantic comedy ever
Maybe
made.
I haven't seen enough, but I think I've seen a lot, but maybe not old stuff as far as romantic comedies, but I don't think I can name a better one that I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would probably say it's, as far as what I can think of off the top of my head, but say number one romantic comedy of all time. Then there's other movies, and if I were to put them there, I wouldn't say they're romantic comedies. They have some romance in them, but this is a romantic comedy.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you.
It's a little dark, but
It's very dark, yeah.
Yeah, it depends. I don't think it's one of those movies that I don't think people will think is that dark when they first watch it.
No.
I think you notice them several watches later.
Yeah. Well, it's just the implications of him stuck in this loop. And the stuff that you don't see.
Right. But
Yeah.
I don't think people think that on the first viewing.
No. Yeah.
I think it's something that you see later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that you catch later and you're like, oh, shit. Like,
It's, and this guy's going through like a midlife crisis. Obviously in his career, he's had to literally have to do this damn thing, not the date, but like going out to this festival many years over and over and over, and
just fourth year.
No, but I mean, there's something to like.
No, I know. No, I know. He's still
going.
going.
It just feels repetitive to him. The job feels. He's just bored with the job.
You don't feel bad for him in the beginning.
No, but then you realize, oh, okay. I mean, this is an extreme, example of him having to relive this day so many times. But it's like, yeah, I mean, but how is it different from his real life, where he's stuck in this? Like, obviously, he's pretty good at his job. He sleeps through it. It's easiest for him. He's done it for so long.
Like that local guy here in town.
Exactly. So, it's just like, yeah. I mean, it's a guy who's going through a midlife crisis. He hasn't, for him, he hasn't found a person where he's like, I'm gonna give more of myself to another human being other than myself.
Right.
So he finds that Annie McDowell, and then he finds, hey, this is harder than I thought. I have to actually not be selfish with my life. And he finds this town of people that he can, make better.
Right.
It just takes him 10
10
years.
Maybe, probably more.
Probably more. But yeah, I mean, I can see why people find it spiritual.
No, me too.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is like and the thing is, like, he knows it's his last day or whatever day you want to call it, and that's what he chooses to do.
Yeah.
And it takes a while for him to choose to do anything good.
Yeah.
It's like,
But so think about how many people spend their whole life like trying to find that.
but that's why I was like, I don't want to say stealing. Somebody might have this bit like as a comedy bit, but I'm not trying to say. I'm trying to say in a comedic way, but it's like live every day as if it was your last. It's like, well, I don't have it like this, but like, well, what if if you really knew it was your last? I mean, if you're gonna go out and like spend it on cocaine and hookers, it might not be a good idea to do that every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
It's
you never
true.
know. How would you live your last day? It's like, and then think about it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess people are trying to say like, don't. Yeah.
But he kind of does do his own version of that.
He does his own version, and he
at
realizes
the beginning.
And he
realizes it's not making him.
That's
happy.
not. Yeah. Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
not making him happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's more to it than just that. It's a. But there's something like there's him stuck in this loop. There's from his perspective, he's growing, but that's the hell of it. Nobody else is noticing his growth,
Right.
and that's a little bit of.
It's
the
like when I
hell.
bought those pills online.
But there's something to that, right? There's no.
Right. It's all self-reflection.
It's exactly. There's no somebody else bouncing like, hey, Phil, you're getting better at that piano lesson.
right.
Like, nobody's noticing, and that's a little bit of his own personal hell. That his own personal growth is only for him. Nobody else is gonna see it. But that's what makes him less selfish. It's then at the end of the day, it's for himself, not for anybody else. And I think he starts seeing
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it is something. There's something there.
yeah,
It's
there's
like
a
when
reason this movie's so rewatchable. It's
like I pretty much do stand by because there's other movies where I was like, it's not a romantic comedy because it gets resolved because the guy gets with the girl and they're happy.
like the basic, right? The plot, like very plot. You know, yeah, it's true. That's what all romantic comedies depend on.
There's other movies where it's like, oh, that was better. I was like, you know what? It's like there's some romance in it, but it's not a romantic comedy.
Yeah,
this is a romantic comedy.
It has all the tropes of a classic romantic comedy.
Yeah,
woman doesn't like him in the beginning. He gets better at something. He gets better at becoming himself. He gets better at being just a better man, and he wins the girl, and they end the movie happily ever after.
Right.
On February 3rd.
Exactly. Yeah.
With a blizzard.
Right. Blizzard that wasn't supposed to hit.
It wasn't supposed to hit. It was supposed to just miss us and hit. What's that town that he mentioned?
It's like I make the weather. He's freezing outside.
Yeah. But yeah.
This.
Any final thoughts, John, before we go?
I'd say do the Bill Murray thing. Be nice to people. Help people out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say live every day if it was your last, but I don't know how you would live your last day. So I don't want to say that's gospel or permanent because I might be at the strip club with you on that last day. So I don't want to say do that. Just be nice to people. I think I've said it before.
What if that happened? You're stuck in a loop and you're just at a strip club every day. I get boring after a while, right?
And it's the same stripper working.
Same stripper working. Oh.
I've lived that day.
Same stripper.
Her name is Denise. And she's not really going to college.
She isn't. Okay. And wait. You know what? Before we go, think real quick. Think of a movie that would have been improved if the character had to relive that day over and over.
Ooh.
It would have been an interesting movie where they had to reflect on having to. And obviously, it might have to be a movie that's set over just one day. Think of a movie that's set over just one day where it's like, man, that character had to relive that day over and over. It would have made them a better person.
Oh, man, dude, that's hard.
I can think of one real quick.
What's that?
Die Hard. Imagine if John McClane had to relive that night over and over.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I
don't think I could beat you. I was thinking of an action movie too, but you got it.
Yeah.
I can't think of another one in one night.
That'd be an interesting remake. Do Die Hard, but with Groundhog Day.
Well, there's that Liam Neeson Run All Night. He's old. Yeah. He's old.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. Just do it over and over. All right, John.
Sick, right? His daughter's taken every day.
Yeah.
Taken.
Oh yeah. You have to give that speech every day. Yeah.
I will find you this time.
All right, John. With that, we leave another episode. Hopefully, we don't do this. We'll do this again next week, like we do every week, over and over.
Today's episode is brought to you by the Panasonic RC 6253 Vintage Flip Clock Radio Alarm.
We are going to have a contest coming up, and the winner of this contest will win one of those clock radios. So keep listening. All right, John. Say bye.
Good night.
All right, bye-bye.